Hello and welcome to Toyfarerapy. I am your host, Dr. Modern Toyfare, and I am joined by the founder of the Neck Illuminati, the delayer of shipments, the procrastinator of pre-orders, my YouTube wife, Mrs. Dr. Modern Toyfare, Jarmar_games. But that's not all. I am also joined by the man Modern Toyfare has full custody over. The man after his prime popped and he refuses to stop. The Twilight Knight, the master of mech, the three-pump chump of taking the show off the rails, Nurse Nate. And we are joined by a very special guest tonight. We have the curator of the Hall of Collectibles, Zach. He is coming to take a seat on the couch. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing well, and I'm actually very excited to be here.
Very excited to have you. You are the first person who is like a member of our community to actually come on Toyfarerapy. So it's very kind of exciting because that was one thing we wanted the show to kind of be, was we wanted it to be open to anyone who, had a webcam and wanted to come hang out with us and let us, poke at them and ask them questions about their collections.
I won't do no
Well, and I
poking.
remember you posting about that way back when on one of the Mezco groups, and I think I replied to that saying, "Hey, you should talk to the community." And you're like, "Oh, that's our plan. Already got ahead of you." So yeah, that's pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, so thank you so much for being the first guest who wasn't us just clout chasing.
I can't blame you. I can't blame you one bit. I'm surprised you finally got around to doing somebody outside of the toy industry. So kudos to you for doing it.
Yeah, I think the thing was because the plan originally for 2022 was to make this a once a month occurrence, and we had a few guests lined up, and they had things happen, so they couldn't. One of them went off to be a movie star, so he got busy. And
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, I missed this too.
so people who are fans of him on YouTube get the joke, but Cincy Nerd went and did a
Oh,
movie.
okay.
So
okay.
the joke is always that he went off to Hollywood and became a movie star. Which the plan is still to have him and a few other people still come on, but I think once that got derailed so much, and then we got the momentum randomly from that Hasbro episode that blew up, it just was like, well, we'll get back to it eventually, I'm sure.
You mean the episode about why you quit collecting?
Yeah, the why we quit collecting.
It's over.
Yeah, it's over.
Hold on, I really want to do this. You can find a link about it over here, or maybe over here. I really.
Oh man, he's coming for your job, Nate. All right, let's get right into it. Let me pull up the questions here. So, the first one is always, what lines do you collect? Because I see a lot of stuff behind you.
Yeah, that's a loaded question because while I always say like I have a narrow collection, that's a lie, and it's changed over time. But I will say this past couple years, it's really gone back to vintage with a focus on robots, Japanese robots primarily, but like Voltron is always one of my biggest things I collect no matter what, from cradle to grave, I've been a big fan of Voltron, so I'll have it till the day I die. But, as far as new stuff goes, I have some Legends, of course, primarily Spider-Man, with some X-Men. I've got my Jim Lee X-Men team pretty much.
Great choice.
And then I have some NECA, but not much. Like, I have the Turtles in Time NECA, and that's it.
Oh, wow.
And then I've got some Super 7 Turtles. But, like, I really am going back into vintage. Oh, with the exception of I have started buying Studio Series 86 Transformers because they're beautiful and I love them. I always told myself, you're not collecting Transformers. There's too many. And then Hasbro's like, yeah, but what about Studio Series 86? You remember all of these, right? Yeah, I'm like, yes, I do. Please let me have them. So I've been buying those and I love them. But yeah, I primarily focus in on vintage nowadays. I just recently picked up a G1 complete Jetfire, and I absolutely am in love with it. It's actually right behind me, right there.
I saw that.
Yeah,
Right
it's
away.
a temporary display because I got a clear space out of one of my cases. So I'm like, well, where should I put this? Oh, right in frame, because that's one of my new favorites.
Of course.
So yeah, but it's all over the place. But yeah, I mean, Legends are great, and I love them. Their price has gone up, and it's a little bit much, and so I have to pick and choose. But I pretty much focus in on my Spider-Man, and then of course the retro carded Spider-Man stuff is great.
Oh my God, yes. best line Hasbro does, no matter how expensive it gets, unfortunately.
They're beautiful. The cards are just, I mean, come on. It looks exactly, well, it looks pretty much exactly like the 90s Toy Biz stuff. And like that's when I really fully remember seeing toys out there, was with that type of stuff.
Yeah, I
Yes, it is
absolutely-
all dependent on your age. For
Right?
sure. Like,
Right. Well, see, I'm right in between, I think, like you and Michael, because I was born in '85. So
okay.
I have some nostalgia for original Star Wars, but granted, like I remember watching it on VHS and there was no toys, because I was right in that dead period to where, no, we're not going to put anything out for you because it's not enough big enough market. But then when Power of the Force came out, blew my mind. That was the first line I remember as a kid being like, I want these. Like I need to have all of these. Because it was just like there was no Star Wars toys before that, and all of a sudden, bam, Star Wars toys, and it was beautiful. It was amazing.
Yeah, I can tell that you were a Power of the Force collector based on that. Is that Han Solo behind you?
I have Han and Luke. That's it. Like when I saw those, the new ones, I was like, okay, because those are actually the 50th anniversary ones that are on the wall behind me. It was, come on. It's like the retro carded Marvel toys. It looks exactly like the Power of the Force card, and I was like, as much as those toys drive me nuts because you'll walk into toy stores and they're just everywhere. That card is that like burst of yellow and orange and red. Oh, I just love it. I just love it, and so I've got to have them.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
I was just gonna ask. I don't know where you want to go with this, but we're free flowing and we do whatever. I'm just curious, like, since you do mainly focus on vintage, like, how do you like? What do you go, like just random shops, or you're like, how are you finding these things? Like you get my question.
Where do you buy all your stuff?
And it-
I think
yeah,
it's
where do you
And
buy?
if you don't, just make up an answer. We won't
Just make
remember it either.
just be like the store.
Like the thing is, you've got to, if you want vintage, you always have to look, everywhere you can. So luckily in my area, we do have about 4 or 5 solid toy stores. Now a lot of them don't have tons of vintage in them, but some of them do. And so like I'll make the circle every once in a while. I'll check those out. We did have some really good flea markets that unfortunately no longer around, but like I would go to that all the time. But it really is, eBay, watching for auctions. You can still find every once in a while someone who puts something up for auction as opposed to a ridiculous buy it now and get lucky to get it at a good price. I mean, you just got to keep your eye out. It does happen. And it is just stopping at every toy store you can find. Like anytime I go on vacation, if we're driving, well, we primarily do drive. Like we're driving, I'm looking for at least 2 to 3 toy stores along the route because I want to find that vintage. And that's really the only place you can. Antique malls, no, forget them. They're overpriced. People think they have way more than what they really have. So it's just like, you're lucky you can go to a toy store. Luckily, if they're honest, they'll be cool with you and give you a fair price. And if you buy enough, they'll give you a discount, especially with vintage. But it's just, you've got to keep an eye out and you've got to be on the hunt. I love it.
I do miss that. Like that was obviously like a large part of my collection with turtles, and I think we did an episode about we talked so much I can't remember about like the fun of collecting and is it going away or whatnot. But that was like one of
that was a recent episode.
Yeah, that was one of the last 2 episodes we've done.
You could have told me that was 6 months ago. I would believe you.
The one where you literally said, "Oh, the hunt is dying."
Yeah, but that's what it is. That was like the thrill of like going to like local toy shops and just finding things. And I think maybe that's the part that I'm missing, but I can't really get into another vintage line that.
And
Sure you can.
I could. I just don't know if it would be the best for like my future self and family.
Do it. Just do it.
We can go back to the bit where you were going to have to live in a box because your wife was going to leave you.
Well, and your future you is going to have more toys, so you'll be happy.
Exactly. That is also
there you
true.
Go. There you go. You can replace love with toys. It's totally fine.
Yeah,
toys are love.
They're great to fill that giant hole in your heart when she leaves you.
What do you think this is? Do I need to talk about my childhood trauma? Look around me.
I mean, this is toy
the
therapy.
opposite. Yeah, this is the opposite
Exactly.
of therapy, though. This is like pushing you into.
This is more of of encouragement than it is
Yeah.
therapy.
You know what? As long as you spend with inside your means, it's perfectly fine. That's the
Yeah.
important part. Spend
That's
with
the key.
inside your means.
Yes.
That's the key.
And if you don't, make sure you have a way to extend those means.
Be willing to sell things. That's really what it is. And
Mm.
like hey, we've all been there. Every once in a while, you get in a pinch. How is that going for on eBay right now? Oh, okay, cool. All right, bye.
Yep. It's like, all right, which one of you is going this time? All right, so we discussed what you collect. Are there
Where's that Toy Story spinoff?
Oh god. Shit. That's a Pixar short I wasn't prepared for. And he's
turns out Sid wasn't really that bad.
Yeah, I mean,
Sid's the customizer.
Like going out in a blaze of glory, or like, you know, getting packaged in bubble wrap and sent to some dude, you know, across the country.
I mean, that was
To hang
kind
on his
of
wall.
Like, you were talking about Pixar finding ways to make me cry. Come on.
Yeah.
I feel like that might feel more personally attacked by Pixar.
Zach, I thought we were pals.
As you see him opening a version of him with of you with more articulation and detail.
Yeah.
Like what?
Detail.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. Good question number 2.
Yes,
No,
question.
you're
question
living up
number
to your
2.
name. It's okay. You're living up to your name.
Always. So you've told us what you collect. Are there any lines that are a hard no, like nothing could get you to collect it?
So I thought about this question, to be honest with you, because I know you do ask this question, and I had a couple joke answers, but to be honest with you, no. There are some lines that I don't collect as much and that I used to collect more of that I now kind of have walked away a little bit from. But I haven't said never again on any of them. I'll say it's going to take a lot to get me back in, but you know, something will always come along. I can't look. Let's not beat around the bush right now. I'm mostly talking about Mezco. I have quite a bit. I'm looking at my glass case of them right now, so I'm not like trying to burn them down. But it got a little bit too much for me, and you know, like I said, I started going more towards vintage, and so it was easier for me to get out of that and say, hey, I've got something else to go look for. For me, it was I do really miss that hunt. You know, I miss going out. But yeah, it would take something super special for me to be like, yes, I will go buy that. And it's not the turtles. They look cool, but they're not for me. Like I said, I have 2 sets of turtles. Well, soon to be 3, but 2 sets of turtles, some Super 7, and then some NECA video game turtles, and that's it. I am getting those. I don't know if you've seen them, but the ridiculous. I can't remember who makes them, but the mecha turtles. They're like 12 inches tall.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, they fit into the Japanese
3-0?
robot. So
305 studios, something like that. Or what?
I don't know. It might, I haven't. I can't remember who it is, but they look gorgeous. Like the Leo's gotten reviewed. Ooh, I'm excited.
All right.
So on the flip side of
nothing
that,
I would. What's up?
Oh,
I
please
totally
finished.
No. I was just gonna say there's nothing that I really wouldn't go back to be honest with you.
Okay, so that kind of plays in with my question. Is there like a vintage line that you have, whether space issues or money issues, that like you regret not collecting? Like you're just like, I can't do it.
Okay. Ooh, that's a good question because I've thought about, and there's just so much of it, and it gets stupid expensive now. I've thought about collecting all of the original Kinder Jurassic Park stuff. I love that.
Oh my
those
God,
toy line, like that
yes.
toy line. I love that packaging. It's gorgeous. And sure, that they don't look like the characters necessarily, except for Dr. Ian Malcolm. That figure looks like Dr. Ian Malcolm.
It's great.
It's on my shelf, my random figure shelf. But it's gotten really expensive now. But like, that's one of my all-time favorite movies. It's one of those movies that if I ever come across it on TV, whenever I'm not watching TV, that doesn't happen. I mean, I watch streaming stuff, but like, I will just sit down and like enjoy it from start to finish. And so I've always thought about going back and collecting those, but they have just gone through the roof. I mean, the thing is, my passion, my bread and butter, vintage Japanese robots, they're expensive as it is. I can't afford another expensive vintage line. Like, I mean, I'm collecting Bucky O'Hare as a sideline because it's like, hey, it's fun, it's cheap, and I love the colors of it, and it looks cool on my shelf. But like, I just, vintage robots are my bread and butter, and with some new high-end stuff from time to time in the robot category. So it's just, yeah, maybe one day I'll be like, I somehow make enough money to justify buying these Jurassic Park toys. Maybe, but as of now, yeah, I wish I would have thought about buying them earlier because there used to be a time, as always with all of these things, where they were cheaper. Like before, what happened a couple of years ago, the thing I collect a lot of, Panache Place Voltron, it's from the 80s. No one wanted it. No one cared about it. Now it's stupid expensive. Now it's, a figure that used to be $25 on card is going for 150. I'm like, really? Really? Why are we doing this? No one's collecting this except for me. The rest of it's just sitting there on the shelf. People are speculating it's going to get more money. Like, it drives me crazy.
That's fair.
I have feelings apparently about these things.
This is why you're on.
That's why you're on the
here.
couch. Yeah. You mentioned Mezco, and I just did you at least get did you at least get an anniversary cake for '89 Batman? Since
Oh man, look, okay, so
is it
nope, I won't
4
go
years?
into it with that one.
Three.
That's 3.
Yeah.
I want to say something shady right now, and you know what I'm going to say? Look, I saw a teardown of the seamless body for the Alien.
Uh-huh.
I was not impressed.
Oh.
And if that's what they're using for the '89 Batman, I'm good. I don't need it. It was, cool. That's fine if you really want to try and go down that route. But for me, I'm totally fine with the seam body.
Mm-hmm.
I'm totally fine with soft goods. I think they'll find a way to make it great if they just did soft goods. So why not?
Yeah,
Yep.
especially with a character like that, where if they did like some sort of cloth for the arms and legs, like it wouldn't be terrible, especially because it's gonna have armor over it anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why they went seamless, but this isn't. We already did a Mezco bashing episode.
I'm not. Yeah, exactly. Right.
That got me a bunch of haters in the Mezco groups. Which is
I don't
ironic.
go on Facebook that much anymore because of toy groups. not just Mezco, but toy groups in general. We are a vicious community. I don't know if you know this, but apparently we hate each other and we hate the hobby that we do.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. Yeah. So on to question number 3. Do you have any lines that you only collect certain like characters of, or are you more of like a completionist? Like I need all of this wave or all of this team, or is it just like, oh, I'm a big fan of Wolverine, so I just get Wolverine? Or like your Spider-Man collection, is it just Spider-Man, or do you like I need all the villains and all the fixins?
I've got villains. I've got J. Jonah Jameson. I've got Peter Parker. I mean, the Spider-Man stuff, it's all over the place because, like, a lot of it, when they started leaning heavy into the retro carded line, yeah, I wanted it. I had some stuff before that, but it really was when they came out with that. That's when that line took off. But it's for me, it's a team thing. All right. So if it's a team, like I don't collect a lot of Black Series, but I've got my entire Rebels crew for the Ghosts. I've got my entire Bad Batch crew, and that's that. That's fine. I'm good with that. Well, I also have Rex and Cody, but because they're Rex and Cody from Clone Wars.
Yeah.
But like other than that, no. I it's like depends upon what it is. Like with my Transformers, especially with going back and buying vintage G1 Transformers, specific characters. I'm not trying to get the entire line. Like I've got right there, like I said, temporary display. Put my favorite stuff behind me is my inbox complete Soundwave. I love that thing. But like I'm not gonna go out and buy every single other Transformer there is. I mean, it's really pick and choose for me, especially when it comes to vintage. New team building mostly, but a lot of times it's gonna be, oh, okay, well that's a one-off character I can put up on a shelf somewhere. The shelf right above my head is pretty much what I call my miscellaneous figure shelf. That is just, if I have maybe one or two from the line, or it's a one-off type situation, it goes there, and it's just like this kind of crazy eclectic display to where I've got everything from like a couple McFarlane figures to Mafex to some SH Figure Arts to random independent figures I've bought from Instagram, stuff like that. So it's all over the place. But yeah, my collection kind of is who I am as far as kind of being a bit of everything.
All right, awesome. You mentioned SH Figure Arts. Is it Marvel? Is it Dragon Ball? Is it some other anime?
It is, and I am so happy I bought these when they did because they skyrocketed in price. It's the Daft Punk SH Figure Arts figures.
Oh, I'm jealous. Those are so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted them forever, and finally, like about 4 or 5 years ago, I was like, $75 a pop. That's insane, but I'll get them. And now it's like, 400 plus for both of them. Oh my gosh, what? So yeah.
Well, 75 a pop. That would be if Hasbro made them at this point.
What? Did Hasbro hurt you?
They did. Today they hurt me bad. They hurt me real bad.
Wait, what? Did I miss something that happened at Hasbro?
This is not the normal podcast. We will not bitch about Hasbro. We will not bitch about Hasbro. The title will not be "How Did Hasbro Hurt Zach?" It will not be.
Wait. I'm sorry. I feel like you're projecting now because this is "How Did Hasbro Hurt Michael?" Zach didn't say anything about.
But you're the guest,
Zach's happy
so
with his Spider-Man.
So it has to be about you. Nate just somehow finds a way to make every episode that I can turn the title into "What did Hasbro do this week?" So, okay. So based on the background here, I already know the answer to this question, but it's a multi-parter, so we're gonna go with it anyway. Mint on card versus freeing your figures. Where do you stand on the rules there?
You think you know the answer to that question, but it's a mixed bag because so new figures, yes, I will remove them. Except for I have those 2 Power of the Force guys still on card because I love that card.
Mm-hmm.
I did cut out the bottom of my retro card figures to remove them from the slip.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry, but they're beautiful figures. I wanted them on my shelf. I still have the cards in perfect condition. It's okay. But when it comes to a lot of vintage, oh my God, I used to be the person who's like, no, but in box, that's stupid. And then I got a hold of a Panache Place sealed couple things, and I was like, oh, okay. So this is what it's like. It's like walking into that toy store and picking up that object and being like, oh wow, like look at this thing. So now I'm a mix of if I can find it in box for a good price, I will definitely get it. I don't have to have it in box. Like especially vintage robots. If you want them in the box, you're paying a premium. So it's a mixed bag. Like a lot of my new toys, yes, they do come out of box, but I do keep all of my packaging. I'm that crazy person who's got Rubbermaids filled with toy boxes.
Crazy? No, that's what we all do. I have a dedicated closet for
I do too. But
Dude.
I only do certain ones. If it's something that I think eventually may get cycled out or it has a really cool box, those are the 2 reasons I'd keep the box. Beyond that, everything else has to go.
When you move, I find it takes a lot of time, but put them in the boxes and you know where everything is. I love it. Like it's a lot. It puts me at ease because I'm like, okay, our accessories bouncing around somewhere, things fall in the bags. No, they're in the boxes. They're good.
Yeah. As someone who recently moved from across the country, can confirm way easier if you have the boxes.
Well, whose fault was it to move out there to begin with?
Listen,
that's
it was a great idea. I got convinced by some hipster that it was going to be a good business opportunity. I was lied to, okay? He went and played with some gorillas, and
He's never been the same.
I was left there in the mountains.
I was going to ask a question, and I think I forgot what it was now, because you brought up hipster gorilla. What the hell was I about to say? Oh, it wasn't a question, actually. It was just a good point. I've always been like collecting vintage like turtles and stuff like that. I've always I was in the thick of it. I didn't want to touch anything like in the box. I do have like on this side here, like all the things that I have like on card or in boxes or whatnot. But I've never understood the reasoning for it. No disrespect, Nate. I'm just saying, like, no one's ever given me a compelling reason. And what you just said was kind of like that thing of like, oh, that makes sense. Like, it's just like picking it up in the toy store, like at that point in time. And yeah, I take everything I've said awful about, mental card collectors. No, I never said anything, but no, that's just a really good way to look at it. And for some odd reason, I've never heard anyone say that before. So yeah, that's
Like
just...
one thing that a lot of people don't like is, now granted, I do love seeing the box and the card art. So as much as I can see of that, beautiful. But I love a price tag. I love seeing like a KB Toys markdown tag that tells me it had a story and it was somewhere, because it's just like
It was a tragic story, but it had a story.
Hey, you know what? But it just makes me. It reminds me of like, I didn't have a ton of toys growing up, but I loved going to toy stores no matter what. I loved just looking at toys. And so it just reminds me of like just all those fond memories of seeing all these bright colors in bins and in aisles. Something that doesn't kind of that's not around as much anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I especially because I have a lot of old Star Wars card backs from the original Gunner line, and it's just amazing to look at the price stickers and see all these stores. One, I didn't even know existed, and they definitely don't exist now. But there's some I remember. But man, there was a lot of department stores, nationwide.
Oh yeah.
That were just local to there. And they had maybe 4 or 5 locations. So it's pretty cool to see as a piece of history. The weird thing is, though, is I take all my stickers off anything modern that I'm going to keep.
Same.
I don't want stickers.
Oh my God, that's so true.
Same.
Yeah.
So we're ruining it for like,
yeah.
No, yeah. Screw those future kids.
Yeah, that's not our problem.
Part of it is they all just say like Walmart or
no one cares about that.
Like,
right.
The only story the stickers nowadays
have.
Or even
you don't have those local department stores anymore.
Yeah,
like that's not a thing. Like we had one called Grandpa Pigeons in my area that I remember buying some really cool discount stuff. Nate's eyes just got really big there, and so I'm wondering.
I want to go to there. No, I've never heard of it.
Oh yeah,
Grandpa's Pigeons.
I'm like, get the cars. We're going.
Exactly right.
I would go every day. Where are we going? Grandpa's Pigeon. I'd work there so I could answer the phone. Good afternoon, Grandpa's Pigeon. That would never get old.
Oh God. I will say I didn't think anyone could top Jarmar throwing his accessories away, but when you told me you cut the bottoms out of your retro card figures to take them out, it broke my heart a little bit.
That's not
I'm
anywhere
sorry.
near.
Throwing your accessories away is a bigger crime than that.
Also, I just like to point out, I did the same thing with my X-Men. So,
yeah, and then you tried to convince me, like, oh yeah, it's the
no,
same.
I
You
didn't
should
try
buy
to
mine.
convince you. I just said, hey, if you want it, you can literally just have them. And I was being friendly.
You were, and I appreciate
so
it.
now they just stay in my closet.
I'm like,
I don't
sorry,
have anywhere
I
to
can't
put
do
them
it
right now. To be fair, all the accessories were old.
That's not an excuse at all. Do you just throw out anything that's old? So like grandparents, you're just like, all right, grandma, get in the trash can.
Just remember not to get anywhere near them, anymore.
One day, a few years from now, you're gonna be like, all right, Nate, time to get rid of you. Hop in the bag.
Time to go.
Speaking of accessories, though, great segue on accident. What do you do with your accessories?
Oh, like I said, I keep my boxes, so everything stays in the box.
They stay in the box, so you don't have like any of the like Tupperware, like craft cases, nothing.
No, I've seen people do that. I've especially seen like what's the big Mezco thing, the film casters, the film boxes.
The one that Paige always does his thing where it's like, will it fit? And like,
yeah, and that's cool. Like it's awesome organization, like stuff. I love it. I dig it. But like I said, I've got Rubbermaids filled with toy boxes because I'm the crazy person that keeps every toy box. So it's just like I've got them all organized, and so I know if I want accessories for something where it's at, and I can easily go grab it. But no, everything stays in the box. If it's not being used, in the box.
All right. I assume you don't switch out your accessories or anything like that very often, then, because I feel like that would be.
Oh, I do from time to time. Okay. Like, I mean, I work from home. What come on. Like,
just because you play with them doesn't mean you're like, oh, I need that sword. Hold on, and run through some Tupperware.
No, let me tell you, like everybody I work with knows about the toy collection, so they're not surprised if I'm doing something with toys.
You're just on the Zoom call, and they're just like, was that a fucking Ninja Turtle?
It's a Transformer, all right? It's rarely a Ninja Turtle. It's generally a Transformer or Voltron, you
Like,
know?
why are you playing with Optimus Prime? We're talking about this week's like schedule.
You
and plans.
are assuming a lot that someone on the other end of the Zoom call knows who Optimus Prime is.
That's why I picked Optimus
100%.
Prime, because I
Well-
figured he's the most likely. They had giant movies, blockbuster style
Dude.
movies.
When
Dude.
when I worked in corporate America and I would be on a Zoom call, there wasn't a goddamn person on that call that would know what Optimus Prime was.
Bumblebee,
You-
maybe. No, I'm just-
No, even still, it's so funny. We think that people care about this stuff, but they really
They don't.
I hate to break
They
it.
do.
They don't, but I still expect there to be like some household names. Like if you said Spider-Man, people would know who Spider-Man was. I
If
feel
they
like
had kids.
no, not at this point. With how big the
Okay,
MCU
well, okay,
is.
at this point, yes. At this point, we've reached prolification of pop culture into mainstream media, but that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still shocked on how many people don't understand or don't know like the 4 turtle names. So like I could totally understand someone not knowing.
they
Optimus Prime.
know the Ninja Turtles, but they don't know
Yeah,
who they
but
are.
like if you say like what's the red one and they're like, is that Donatello?
They're like, is that
It's-
Jeffrey?
Well,
It's
hold on.
Scary. It's scary.
You're talking about the original turtles because they're all red.
That's a good point. They would always be right.
Yep.
I would bet a lot of money they would have no clue that even existed.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
They're not going to know the names. They probably didn't know that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a fact.
But yeah, no.
And I
it's-
remember the days before
awesome.
the internet was crazy, and you pull that fact out of your hat, and everyone's like, "No, you're full of it. You're
Yeah, no.
lying."
That's very
Oh,
true.
Man. Well, I guess that brings us to the final question, which is, what is your grail? And are you still on the hunt for it, or did you find it?
Oh, I was prepared for this because I actually. Now, hold on. I first have to preface this because I put a lot of emphasis in the concept of a grail item. To me, it is something that is almost larger than life, that you're less than likely going to find it out in the wild, and it's going to cost you some money.
Mhm.
All right?
Mhm.
So, Nate, if I'm not wrong, yours was the Turnia, right? Like, that was a grail for you. And to
Yes.
me, that makes sense. That is that item that you're like, wow, I can't believe I have this. So I've got 2, and they're essentially the same toy, only repackaged. The first is the original. Okay, man, I kind of feel like I have to do some history. Does anybody know much about Voltron history as far as where he originated from? He was originally the anime Go Lion, all right?
Mhm.
So anyway, he's also my hometown hero. Look up World Event Studios. I'm from the same city they're from. They're who made Voltron, essentially, took the anime and made it to Voltron. But so my 2 grails are a 1981 Japanese Poppy Go Lion figure and a 1982 Bandai of America Go Daikin Go Lion. So Bandai of America essentially decided, hey, we're going to resell all of Poppy or Bandai Japan's robots. They shipped them to the United States in the styrofoam sleeves. They put a new sleeve on them and said, here's a new toy for the United States. In fact, they were just taking molds from toys that had already been made in Japan and doing what we all know they did with things like the Power Rangers and whatnot.
Mhm.
So those are the 2 pieces I want the most. They both complete and we're talking complete in box. We're talking almost minty. We're talking couple grand at least. So like they go for about 1,000, depending upon condition, upwards to 2,500, 3,000. So yeah, that's my grail. Is some classic Go Lion robots. You know, it's like I said, my bread and butter, vintage Japanese robots, and they get expensive, and they're older than me too.
So then, is the goal to get both, or just like
Yes.
one? Okay.
Eventually, I want both, and it's ridiculous because it's essentially the exact same toy,
Mhm.
but I want to be like, oh no, this one's from Japan, even though they're both from
They're both
This
Japan.
one's
Don't
from
worry about
Japan.
it.
This one
It
was
matters
from
to
Japan but
me.
sold in America.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it matters to me. Don't worry about it.
I totally understand that because in getting Eternia, I think it was maybe 10 months later, they're like, oh, hey, we're redoing that. And I went, oh, okay, I'll have that one too.
Yeah.
I don't-
I'll have some more, please.
Yeah, it's like I'm going to turn that one down.
Yeah.
I was this close to doing it, but I just don't have the space, and I have a
I don't know what else to
modern.
do.
Well, I mean, look, like I said, 85, so I was, by the time Motu was already gone, I
Yeah.
wasn't, old enough. I was on my way to Batman the Animated Series, Power Rangers, everything
I
like
get it.
that. Yeah,
I wish I could have left it behind.
yeah. It's that
It's
thing
a
is
quarter
beautiful.
of my basement at this point. Well, we won't get the new one until I don't even think it's this year. I think it's next year. It's a while.
Yeah,
I'll
So,
imagine,
but
especially
the
how big it
original
is.
one. Yeah.
dude, I
Yeah,
have
because
no
it's
idea where
bigger
they're
than the
gonna put
original.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, what it's like is it a couple inches or entire foot
Mhm.
taller than the original?
I'm not sure if it's an entire foot or not, but like when they were showing the schematics of it, they actually put a Masterverse figure up with it, and
That's
it looks decent. So it's not going
Yeah.
to be quite classic scale, but it's not going to be, true Origins either, I don't think. So
Man, I'm looking forward to seeing it just because it's
Yeah.
going to be an impressive sight to behold.
I'm looking forward to seeing
Now,
how
what
it's
were
going to
you
get on
saying to-
camera.
yeah. What were you saying that you didn't know you were going to have space for?
I'm the idiot that bought the Super 7 party wagon.
I mean, I've got one on pre-order through Entertainment Earth, so assuming
No.
Oh, so do I. I need to cancel that.
I bought it through Super 7,
Yeah,
so
you
I'm
paid
getting
for
it.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
I mean,
No idea.
getting it at this point, who knows when it's going to come out.
Hey,
Well,
man,
I
my
paid for it.
first
It's
wave
coming.
of Power Rangers are delivering tomorrow. I'm
Well,
excited.
I just know that because they still haven't shipped the tank, right? The Thunder tank.
No.
It's about to
No.
be, I think.
Yeah,
though,
it's
isn't
getting close, but yeah, that was only a couple months before they did the turtle wagon. So that means if that's just now getting there, we probably have at least to the end of the year before we even get inklings of the turtle van coming.
Pre-orders don't mean anything these days. Whatever.
Yeah, it's true.
It could be
This
worse.
is why
It
I
could-
went back to vintage. I like that gratification of going and finding something and buying it and having it.
It's a weird thing nowadays. Like, who buys something just to actually have it? It's.
Well, there you go,
Speaking of, how
Jarmar.
are those NBA NFTs through Hasbro?
I'm waiting for NECA to like get more serious about the NFTs. So like that's
Good luck.
I kind of forgot about those.
Oh,
Well,
you
so did
forgot?
everyone else
Um,
because they did it once and then walked away from it.
Yeah. Well, I saw them in stores the one time, which was hilarious. Because it's just this little plastic
Mm-hmm.
little ticket.
Well, then
I'm
Walmart
good.
apparently had to lock them up because people were just stealing it because they just wanted to have the ticket thing on top of that to put with their figure when they eventually got it. So yeah, that was
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Those people do not understand NFTs. I'm just.
Because they're
No
marketing
one
to the
does.
wrong group, Jamar.
No,
I know it's a joke.
They're
It's a
marketing to
joke.
people who don't throw away their accessories.
wait, you're telling me the Walmart crowd's not the NFT crowd? I don't believe you. You are
I
lying
mean,
to me,
technically
sir.
speaking, I feel like that might be the NFT crowd because they could convince them that it's really cool.
That's fair.
They just,
They'll buy into
yeah,
it.
they'll buy into it because they'll be like, oh yeah, that sounds fucking great. But then, they'll realize that they spent a bunch of money on a GIF.
I don't even think you get a gift. That's what I'm laughing about. I'm pretty sure you don't.
It's just a
get
static
gift.
picture.
It's a static picture. I'm sure it is.
I mean, you could make it 3D on Facebook. I don't know.
Yeah. And
But
the
doesn't
meta.
Facebook own the rights to your NFT because isn't anything you upload to Facebook because I don't know what's
Yep.
happening here.
I don't
Do
know
I
if
need
that
to
goes
grab the
in
neck
the-
Illuminati hats?
I don't know if that goes in the blockchain.
God.
I'm either too old or not old enough for this. Somewhere in
Wow.
between, I
Michael,
think.
it's not just us, Michael. You're the one who is the problem. This is
Yep,
completely normal.
I'm the problem.
We
it's
are
me.
completely normal.
All right. On that wonderful note, that is going to be it for this session of Toyfarerapy.
I'm looking forward to the fact that this is probably never going to make it out. You're like, Jesus, what was this disaster? that
Oh,
we had?"
it has to because I can only
you
get.
have seen the shows.
I can only get them to show up once a week. So if I don't put it out, we ain't got an episode. So
Yes!
so you're safe.
I
there.
love it when I'm forcing people to see my stuff.
I don't even know the outro anymore. Make sure, as always, if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe helps us out here on the channel, and of course gets you some toy-related content in your feed, such as reviews, Let's Poses, the weekly live stream that is sometimes weekly, and of course the weekly podcast. In this case, was Toyfarerapy this week. Check us out Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Modern Toyfare. You can check Jarmar over at metal.tv/Jarmar just Jarmar Games. Sorry, it's Jarmar_games on the screen, so I got confused. Or skip Nate for now. You can check out Zach.
He's been cooking up a podcast this entire show.
Well, I figured that should go last, so I was like, you can check out Zach over at Instagram at hall_of_collectibles. Nate, what do you got for us this week?
Grandpa's Pigeon.
Podcast. No, is there like an explanation of what this is, or is it just
I have created a whole scenario in my head.
Which is?
I'm excited.
Well, it was originally a feed store for a elderly man who held on to pigeons, much like Mike Tyson does in real life. And to honor him after he died, they used the space to open up a small general store, and they would carry, all kinds of different things that they had. But they would also then include a small section of pigeon feed in memoriam to Grandpa, carried on to the day that it closed, which unfortunately was probably 1994. I'm gonna imagine, because Walmart, moved in nearby. So.
Wow, that just got dark. It started off like
it was
dark,
real heartwarming, and then it just went.
Death of the American Dream.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be one of those movie events in theaters that the churches promote. About the down and out football player that finds
I was
in
gonna
the
say
third
that.
act. Like it's one of those.
It's
gonna be one of those.
Or like the dog who went missing for a weekend and saved like a town or something like that. It's
after he found Jesus.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's whatever that network is. It's gonna be great though. Zach gets a special inspired by credit. It's nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, I'm just cleaning up today. This is great.
Nate, make sure to send you your royalty checks.
Yeah.
Wait, do I owe you money now? I'm a little afraid.
Oh man. Well, yeah. So make sure to let us know in the comments below who you'd like to.
And at the end, like a little baby, like a little kid, like she's 3, and she at the very end, she picks up these wild flowers in the field, and she just goes, "Grandpa's pigeon." It's like that "I'll never go hungry again" from The Gone with the Wind, which I'm assuming none of us have actually seen because I haven't.
But it is a classical movie,
It's a classic movie, but I do not have 4 hours 20 minutes to spend with it, and because honestly, I don't care. I don't. I've learned I've watched 3 seasons of Drunk History at this point, and I've learned that we've been lied to all of school, and so I want no part of it.
I don't even know what to say.
I got nothing. This is amazing.
I don't even remember what I said.
I don't know if we're even recorded at this point. I feel like Michael's been.
Oh no, we're still going. I haven't gotten to the final outro yet. So.
Oh no, we're here.
No. What's the final outro?
Make sure to comment below who you'd like to see us talk to next. If you want to come on the show and be a member of the community, please feel free as well. As evidence, we have no problem having just regular people like us come on and chit chat for an hour while Nate talks about pigeons. But as always,
Grandpa's pigeons, right?
Grandpa's pigeons. Show some respect.
Please make sure to come have a seat on the couch. Thanks for watching.
Good God.